For us, the focus is just got to be keeping the product as premium as possible. Like for every burrito bowl sold at Zambrero, we donate a meal to someone in need through a charity partner, Rise Against Hunger. We're over cleared 90 million meals now. Our staff in our restaurants are our business every day driving on, because you're making people stay. No, again, bully. Like my 4-year-old actually bullied me into feeding her whole crèche one day. She's like, can you just bring in Zambrero one day to my friends and my teachers? Sales fixes every problem. If you can increase your sales, you negate everything. If you're struggling with labour percentages, up your sales, labour percentage come down. So he said, your focus every day has to be sales. And from that trip 3 years ago, that's sort of been my mantra. I've tried to always focus on, when I'm making decisions or trying to see things.
Welcome to this Flipdish Takeaways podcast. Today I'm joined by Darragh Fanning, General Manager of Zambrero Ireland. Darragh, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's a nice change up for my Friday afternoon. Yeah,
great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. So, tell us, how did you get into this game? Like, where did it all start for you?
Where did it start? Well, actually, 10 years ago, exactly this week, I flew out to Australia to do my training. So, about 9 months before that, my business partner Sean came to me with the opportunity of. He was involved with Zambrero in North Queensland. He had the rights to all of Queensland at that stage, and they were looking to come to Europe, come to the UK. He approached him with the idea of Ireland. He knew that I might want to do something after rugby, would need a plan for after rugby, and from there, like I say, it was 9 months after that. I went to Australia for a month, and then another 9 months later, we opened Hatch Street 9.5 years ago now.
Wow, congratulations. 10 years feels like a big milestone. Huh?
Yeah. So I'm hoping the last conference, they have gold lanyards to the 10-year people. So I'm hoping to have them again this year.
Class, that'd be amazing. And how was that transition out of rugby into this? Was that a difficult thing to do? I know some people talk about retirement as I couldn't wait for it. Were you hesitant about it?
No, it was different for me. Look, my story... You're asking if I've done podcasts. I've done a few podcasts around. My story's been well told at this stage. Like, I was late to professional rugby, got in, was having a good run, and the business was a plan to get going on the side. Like when I actually left Leinster, I still had 1.5 years left on my contract that they bought me out of. And so my hand was a little bit forced into it. I didn't want to retire at the time, I still thought, but coaches change, plans change, and they moved on. So I was lucky, and I always said I was very lucky. I had a plan at that stage of as Zambrero. So like I said, from that conversation in August till the end of that season in June, I was doing bits. Like, I wasn't flat out every day off training, but some Wednesdays on my days off, I might go and meet a wholesaler or go and meet someone for a coffee, and that's what my dad was very good for a time, like pushing me to meet people in his network. People of all different walks who just had some sort of maybe food industry experience or background, and so did all that in the planning. And then, like I say, plans changed in Leinster for me, and you go from like 24 or 5 games one season to you play the very first game next season, you don't play another till Christmas. You sort of know writing's on the wall. They approached me about leaving, and 2 months later we agreed a deal for me to leave, and that was 2 weeks before Hatch Street. So my plan at the start was to go sort of part-time into the business and learn it from the background, and then I went 2 feet in, and look, obviously it was very sad the way the stuff ended in rugby. You want to keep playing forever, obviously, but I'm delighted the way it worked out, because I really know the Zambrero business. Like, first couple of years, myself and Niall, we were just like 2 managers side by side in a restaurant, and I still stand over that. Like, I am getting more and more removed from the restaurants and less time actually. I do little to no time actually in rolling briefs, let alone maybe openings or in events. But I still know I could go into a restaurant today and run it from open to close, and I still know the whole operation inside out from those first few years in Hatch Street. So I am glad that happened.
So that would be a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who was was thinking of doing something that you did, go and work in the business.
Even for our franchisees, so we've a mixed franchisees across the brand. We've some owner-operators, we've some who are owners and they're sort of semi-involved, and then we've some who are literally just an investment, they step away. And all of them, whether they're going to be fully involved, or more so for the guys who are not involved, I always tell them to do the training. You have to understand the working of the restaurant, because it's hard for staff if they see you just dip in and out, coming out, and then you make comments, and you could actually be wrong. And you don't embarrass or upset staff. So I always encourage everyone to do the training. You have to know the business from the bottom up.
And is that something that you when you're kind of thinking about taking on franchisees? Is that something that you kind of try and assess? Is this person willing to put those kind of hours in?
Yeah, it's a mix. Look, we're right beside Beacon. Actually, just went in for a late lunch there. They were our first. Cameron Marine were our first franchisees, and I'll always say it was the hardest. The first is the hardest to get, because once I had them, when potential franchisees come, they could go talk to actual franchisees who are living it. So to get them in, they were a great couple to start off with, because, like I say, they were like them, me and now. So the two of them went into the business. They were full time, they were 24/7 in the business, and they still are very hands on with it. And you know, that was good for us, because we'd owner operators, and they were putting out the perfect product. And then they were like salespeople for us. People came to me, I'd always say, okay, look, come chat to Cameron, and they were very good. They've met over the years. They would have met, you know, 30, 40, 50 potential franchisees. Wow.
Okay. Well, it's great to hear that they're so successful and around the corner from you, which is great for us. Yeah. When that idea came to you, and obviously you started talking to, you know, your business partner and what made you think that this would be a success? Like what was it? Or was it complete, like, I will take a swing at this and hope it works?
Yeah, I'd like to say I know I ground down P&Ls and balance sheets, and I looked at the business in depth. I just knew when Sean asked me first about it. So the background was, before I left Australia, I spent a year and a half over there playing. Before I left, I spent a few weeks helping him when he opened a second restaurant, just because I had about 5 or 6 weeks to kill. Went up, worked with him and Clara, his wife, and we had a great couple of weeks. We opened a second restaurant. It was manic. It was early stage in the franchise. There wasn't a sportswear now. I had a small little 50cc moped, so I was running between restaurants, and it was good fun, and I enjoyed it. I was just helping two friends, and that's sort of why they brought the opportunity to me. Yeah, I think for me, when the idea came with Sean, it was just, I knew I loved the food. Like I said, when I went to Australia first and I moved into a rugby house with 3 rugby lads, I got there late in a Friday night. They had a game Saturday, Sunday. The first place we went for lunch was Zambrero, and they loved it, and I loved it, and I knew it was different. I knew it was clean, it was fresh, it was healthy, and yeah, that was really the food sold for me. And I think the food is the thing that has to sell it. Like, you know, every time I meet a potential franchisee, have you tried the food? And the amount of them that said no, I've just seen pictures, or like, you have to really believe if you're going to put your whole livelihood into this. Yeah.
So it was a case of you loved it and you thought, well, if I love it, there's going to be people back home that are going to love it as well. Was burritos or Mexican style food, was that kind of a bit of a, I don't know, we call it a bubble, probably not a bubble, but was that something that was growing
it was well established in Ireland. I think that was so 10 years ago, before I went to Australia, about 5 weeks earlier, so it would have been early May, April time, our former CEO and Sean came over to Ireland, and that's when we signed the contracts in Ireland, and we had to get everything set up. And I remember picking them up from the airport, and she was like, mate, wait till Irish people taste Mexican. And I'm like, no. I was like, why do you taste Mexican food in Ireland? Because there's some really good brands. There still is some really, so it was a really established market, where when Zambrero opened in Australia, like when Sean brought Zambrero up to Townsville, no one had really ever had a burrito before, or like, it was brand new for people. So they were first to market, where when we came here, there was 5, 6, like I always said, the example from Hatch Street, which was our first, you could walk out the door of Hatch Street, and within 10 minutes being in, you know, 4 or 5 competitors. Some of them had multiple sites within a 10-minute walk for us. You know, so it was an established market, and it, you know, and then you had the whole thing, oh, is Mexican a fad? But we always used the example, which was used to me earlier, is Old El Paso's been in, I know it's been in my house since the 90s. Like, that was your exotic meal every 2 weeks, you know, a taco dish.
Same as us, yeah.
Or the Uncle Ben's curry, which I used to think was like this lava hot dish coming out, and then you see 5-year-olds coming into us now asking for jalapenos from birthday sauce. So palates have definitely moved on, I think, from the early 90s.
So that, obviously, that Mexican had been established in Ireland at that stage. That's obviously a good thing, and also maybe you're also coming in late as well, right? Is that not a concern also in that?
No, because I think we are slightly different. Okay. So there was a lot of burrito bars, and I think I've always used the example with Zambrero, we're nearly a cross between a salad bar and a burrito bar, and somewhere in the middle. So we're a Mexican fusion. So we still have your standard staples, your burritos, your nachos, your tacos, your bowls. But I would say they're built a bit differently. So a little less rice and beans, you still have your protein, and then much heavier on the fresh salsas and salads. And you see that in our servery. So we call it Burrito, which is our servery, which is our showpiece in the restaurant. And that's the piece that I love, and that's full, it's colourful, it shows off. And the food is what it is. It's there in front of you. There's no fats, no additives in our kitchens. There's no grease in our kitchens. Like, it is really clean, healthy food. And I can stand over that. I know it. Like, I feed it to my kids all the time now. Like, I have a 18-month-year-old who started eating it. The 4-year-old loves it. I've even fed her creche. I've been bullied into feeding her creche before and stuff. So yeah, like, and I can stand over that. It's not, you know, burgers and chips or fried food. I'm happy if they have it, you know, a couple of times a week.
And do you feel like that was something you might have had to overcome? Is like, for me, I never think, if I think health food, I don't immediately go to Mexican. That doesn't jump to mind straight away. Yeah. Is that something that maybe opinions are changing in Ireland? Have you had to do some work on changing people's opinions?
Like I say, when we launched, it was like a re-education piece, because we're slightly different. Like, you'll know from being in our restaurants, we're very customizable. So, you know, just be 20, 30 questions online. Do you want some of this? Where a lot of maybe the competitors, it's, I'll have that burrito and that's a set build, and there might be one or two options of extras along the way. Mm-hmm. You know, it is a strength and a weakness of ours that we are so customizable, but then for a first-time customer, it's a little bit, you know, overwhelming. That's why we brought the signature burrito, because we needed a standard option. And if someone is like a deer in headlights, why don't you try our signature? It's chicken chipotle sauce. It's our most popular two combinations. Why not try that?
Yeah. Oh, wow. And is there any entrepreneurs that you kind of looked at, like, earlier in your career, that you said, oh, well, that person's doing an amazing job, like, that you would have taken inspiration from, or anyone you spoke to even in that, at that time, like, maybe shaped where you went with business?
I suppose I was probably shaped from my childhood and my family. So my grandparents had their own businesses. My parents had their own business at their own stage. My granny was a big influence to me. My mum's mum, she used to do the uniforms for St. Mary's, Temple Oak, Our Ladies, all the gear up in the mini Rugby and Mary's. So I used to love helping her, like, organise stock, sell stock. And the reason I'm laughing is at Christmas we were only talking about this. So I have a brother, Thomas, who's 4 years older. But yes, when I was in like 5th and 6th class in school, it used to be me bringing in these like big, and I can remember bringing them in some days in the bus, like big sort of, like, they were like brown paper bags, but like black sacks. And in it I'd have like people's school jumpers, shorts, rugby jerseys. And I'd be lugging it in. I'd have to ask my teacher to leave class. So I felt like the Don leaving class, like, I'm off, lads, up to senior school. And there I was, like, going around. I was like 11, 12, like going up to like 4th and 5th year. I'd be knocking on doors like, oh, hello, sir. I need like James Murphy and, you know, Sharon Collin there, please. And calling these lads out, and there's me standing there. I'm like, yeah, you're a jumper. Do you want to try that on there as a fit? Yeah, that's £40. Yeah, you have cash or check? Yeah, perfect. So I just write down my thing. And then there was me, stuff in my pocket, going back down to class. The odd day I'll be trying to get by the senior school canteen, because the Patsy and Denise who ran the canteen there I would have known from rugby club. The odd day then they'd bring me in, give me like food at it. So like I felt like a champ coming back. I'd have like pocket full of checks, which I know now are basically worth nothing, but I was thinking like, oh, I've hundreds of pounds in my pocket, and then like maybe a roll and a bit of soup from the canteen, and that defo inspired me. Like we were talking at Christmas. My granny had a shop in Clonbrazil Street. My sister actually brought me an amazing old photo where it has the photo of Eileen's over the shop, and she was like the TK Maxx of the 70s, 80s. Yeah. Cool. So she used to always buy like stock just going out of fashion. She'd buy it then late, and then so I'd say that's probably what definitely gave me a drive to have my own business. Doing what? I don't know. Like if I went back 15 years ago, I thought I would have wanted to have my own business, but I didn't have that idea, and I wouldn't have said no. Definitely food. You know, okay. Or a franchise. Yeah, could have been anything. But it's interesting. I think the environment you grow up in always inspires you to go on, and I do the same. My mom's she works in learning development. I work in learning development. You absorb so much from the environment that you're kind of. Yeah, I think for my parents, like now it was kind of different because I had the rugby contract in the background, and that was going on. But when I went and said I was thinking of getting in and doing this business and investing in this. You know, some parents might be like, oh, why don't you just get a normal job or do something like they were actually very encouraging at the start for it. So, yeah, it definitely is a product of your environment at home. And then they were encouraging to me. And like I say, it was on a whim at the start that I knew I liked the food and I knew people would like the food. And then all the extras came from that, you know, the franchise sports behind it. Even our Play for Plate initiative, I didn't really understand it, didn't know about it until pretty much after I got involved with the brand. And tell us a bit about that. So our Play for Plate initiative is for every burrito or bowl sold at Zambrero, we donate a meal to someone in need through a charity partner, Rise Against Hunger. We're cleared 90 million meals now. We're closing in 100 million later on this year, so we're planning a lot of big things for that. And then the way we try to bring it to life is we have a live meal packing event every year. So we've had one the last 3 years. This year we're actually going to have it in October 16th in Cork, actually. So we're going to take it out of Dublin because We, like the first year we had a smaller event 3 years ago in Hatch Street, and that was more just to get the event up and going and figure out how it worked. And then we went in bigger scale to my school, St. Mary's. Were so accommodating the last 2 years. They had us in the big sports hall. You know, they closed off sport for weekend. They let us access the car parks. Like, they were amazing. So we did that the second year down there, and the second year we did 80,000 meals the second year, and then last year we did 136,000 meals. We did the Friday with the school, so we had the boys from the school over 3 sessions on Friday, so 2 years each time, which was again another eye-opener to why I didn't maybe pursue a career in teaching that I thought at one stage I might do. But it was good fun. Look, you get a couple hundred boys in a room, they're getting a couple hours off school. We had a DJ playing, there was music, they're flying out. Like, there was excitement levels rose, but overall they were brilliant. It was an amazing 2 days in school. But the reason we're moving to Cork this year is we've a number of restaurants in Cork, and we just want to bring it somewhere else, because we've got a lot of the same people over last year, and we want to spread that message and get it out. So we're going to do it in UCC. They've agreed to lend us a hall there on the 16th of October, and we're going to have 2 sessions. And globally this year, Zambrero across Ireland, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand are going to hope to bag 1 million meals across those events. Yeah,
which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you can do, like, obviously provide a good product, and also you're helping the community, you're helping like that.
And I will always stand over, like it's different now. I know for a number of franchisees have said it to us that, you know, I was maybe 50-50 with another idea or business, and that deft was tipped us over the edge. I'll have my hand up, I didn't fully know the play until I got into Zambrero. But being in it, yeah, it is such a nice piece. It's amazing. We have our meal counters in restaurants, so you see live meals taking over. I got to go to South Africa on a vision trip about 4 or 5 years ago, and that again was just it showed the impact of meals and made you think about it a lot differently. Like, we spent a week there, and I go back to the example now because I have kids now, like, and you know, kids can give out over different things. Like, I want to watch TV. These kids had nothing. Like in these townships, and I don't think I saw one kid cry over the week. You know what I mean? It was just amazing, and they were loving having us there, and the impact of that, and it was good fun. And like I say, they call them creches or early development centres, where if they go to school each day, they get fed. So, and that's where the meals basically go through. So amazing. To see that in action is really nice. So every year, Zambrero send a number of different franchisees or head office staff. Actually, Marina from Beacon is going this year. Jess from my operations team is going. And I'm excited for them, because I know how much myself, Niall did it as well 2 years ago, and I've done it. And I know from the guys across Australia, anyone that's done it comes back, and it's just reopen your eyes to everything in the business, and giving you that nice feeling when you see the meal counter ticking away. You know, it's actually going to good work. It's doing something good. And these events that you're having, so the one in Cork coming up, do you get volunteers in? Is it only people who are working in Zambrero? Yeah.
How does it?
We'll be. Don't worry, we'll be on Flipdish. We'll be getting a few guys hopefully roped in. We'll push out to the public. It's amazed me every year that, particularly the first year, we wanted to get 120 volunteers, I think. And when we set that up, we're like, right, across the head office team or some of the franchisees, friends, family, we can get this together. Do you know what I mean? So, but when we put the thing live and we put around some of the surrounding restaurants, we had little QR codes you could scan, sign up. I couldn't believe the amount of people that signed up instantly. Groups of students from Trinity, we had a group of students from St. Andrews signed up. And that was nice, that it wasn't just turning into, like, my friends and family, I don't need to teach them about play flight. They should probably know about it. Or I don't need to teach them about Zambrero. But, like, it was nice for these random people just coming in and telling different stories. Like, you know, chatting to groups of Trinity since we eat in Pierce Street all the time. And the Andrews knew about it out in Blackrock. They saw it out there and said, be good for the girls to come to that. Even last year we had it in St. Mary's, the St. Michael's Senior Cup coach, Andy Skeen. He brought down a number of the players because we do food for the Senior Cup team there sometimes. So it's nice to get them there and to get them involved. So it's fully open to the public. I think we need up to over 300 volunteers, I think, this year. I think we just opened a portal on our website last week, and then the marketing will start over the next few months. So we do target a number of corporates. We've got a school, PBC in Cork, who are right, their sports grounds is right beside our Denny's Crossroads, so their students are well aware of us. Their TY coordinator last week told me he'll guarantee me 100 students on a day. Yeah.
Great.
So I'm a third of the way there now at the start.
Yeah, I actually saw a mate of mine. He used to play for Blackrock, actually, Brian Kingston. I don't know if you know him. He was at one of the events. That's where I saw about it.
Yeah.
One where I saw.
And they're fun. Like the thing for me was the first year, there was a bit of arm twisting for some of my mates and stuff. Come on, like, you know, bring the kids, bring your wife, like try to get some mates along, try to encourage some of the other lads. But they've been really fun events. Like we have a DJ going, it's 2 hours, and nearly at the end of 2 hours, like, oh, is that it? Because you feel like you get kind of competitive to have all the lines, where the lines set up and you're going along, and you feel like you're getting into a rhythm, and then it's over, and then it's like, oh, we've bagged 20, 30, 40,000 meals, and it's very cool. So they are good events. It's short and sharp. I got a lot of stick from my friends last year that I should add it midweek, because a lot of them get volunteer days. So I'm hoping now if they're going to take the day off now and come down to Cork this year to support, so we'll see.
Amazing. I'm sure it'll be a great success. So tell me, if you were to go back to your 10-year ago self and give yourself a piece of advice that you've picked up, or from maybe a speed bump you hit along the way, what would you be saying to younger you?
A guy, actually, a friend of Sean's in Australia, Riz, was a number of McDonald's. I was over for the conference 2 years ago and did a day with him and his ops team. It was really interesting just seeing different business. Like McDonald's is a beast. Like it was just cool being inside their kitchens and just seeing a different setup. Because for me, like, I didn't come from a food background, so I wasn't in like loads of different kitchens over the years. Like Niall, who's my operation manager, he's been there from the start of me. He was a trained chef, so he's been around kitchens and sees how it works. So it was cool to see a different operation, different stuff. But I always remember he said something to me. He's like, sales fixes every problem. If you can increase your sales, you negate everything. If you're struggling with labour percentages, up your sales, labour percentage come down. If you're struggling with cost of goods, naturally, if you up your sales, your cost of goods and your wastage might come down. So he said, your focus every day has to be sales. And from that trip 3 years ago, that's sort of been my mantra. I've tried to always focus on, you know, when I'm making decisions or trying to see things, how can we drive sales in the business? And that's sort of the key for us.
And what do you do to drive sales? Is this a use of technology, advertising? A
mix from me being in TikTok videos to different deals we've done, to online, to in restaurants. It's just different ways we can drive food sales and different avenues. Pushing corporate caterings are amazing for us. You know, you get people ringing up and they're like, yeah, I want to order 100 of this and I'll have extra that and extra that and extra that. And you're like, do you want to know how much that is? Oh no, here's a company card. Like, and they're amazing for restaurants like us to have, because you could be, before opening your doors in the morning, you could have a corporate catering order for 50, 60 burritos gone out the door, and that's just set for the day. So it's just always thinking, how can we drive things better like that?
I'm so glad to hear that, because we order from you guys obviously all the time. So we just we get a weekly lunch here. Like we ordered Zambrero on Wednesday, and I always feel so guilty going in collecting 30 or 40 like burrito bowls and stuff.
It's great for business when you can plan in advance like that. When you know, like, if you get it in advance. I think the guys had a big one for someone else today, but like, we've had restaurants. We did a couple of events there recently where we've gone out to offices. So we went out to a couple of companies about in the space of a week with each other, and we actually literally set up a mini Zambrero in their office. One of them is fed 400 people.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
You know, to get that order over the phone like that, that's 400 people. Like, that's a massive lift for a restaurant. So I always just took that like, he's like, in every decision you do or every.
And what's your relationship like with those marketplaces like Uber Eats and Deliveroo and Just Eat? Like, is it something you enjoy being part of? You know, we always get mixed kind of feedback about those kind of marketplaces. Okay. Do you think it's a necessary evil? Or?
Are you trying to get me in trouble? Or?
No, absolutely not.
I have a good relationship with the aggregators. Look, I understand it, okay? Like, and I understand there's a cost and it's a premium. And, you know, if you have to pay more money through service fees, deliveries, or if there's an excess charge in a restaurant to get it delivered to your front door, I'm sorry, I think you should have to pay that, because if you don't have to go get in your car, you know, get out, it's raining, it's wet, walking into a restaurant, you stand there for 10 minutes, if you can sit on your couch, order, get it, walk to your front door and walk back, sit down and eat it, you should have to pay a premium, and I get that. And I get for them to put on a good service does cost money. You know, you know it yourselves, the money that goes in behind the tech in the background. Some people might think it's, oh, well, I just click this and this. Like, there's lots of wheels turning in the background to get to that click. Yeah. So, no, I get it. And like I said, I always have to wear both hats. Like, you know, your franchisees been like, well, you know, let's get lower commissions and we want this slashed and this changed. And then, but I have to wear both hats, because I want them on the aggregators. Yeah. But I also want a restaurant to be successful. And, you know, and I have to keep that fine balance that it has to be worthwhile for the restaurants to do it. And it is hard. Look, the commissions are hard, and that's not a dig at anyone. They're just generally that, but there's a cost in that business. And I do think 99% of them customers, if you turn your restaurant off and have no delivery available, 99% of people are just going to go to a competitor or go somewhere else. Like, I know if we're in a Friday evening, we've decided to take away, and the one you want isn't available, you're not going to get the car and drive. No. Some people will, but there's a...
It has to be a very special takeaway to make
Zambrero,
it. Zambrero. And do you don't use your own drivers? It's always through the aggregators that you do deliveries.
Yeah, we have some of the restaurants, like when we used to have the Dark Kitchen, Red Cow, they had their own drivers at one stage. No, we generally go through the delivery aggregators. Yeah, like I say, they're all integrated in now. The tech is just getting better and better. Like, we can literally see the driver walk into our front door and stuff now.
Yeah.
So no, we've always gone through and used their drivers. Some restaurants we have used Gigable, which I know you guys work with as well, for different things like big catering orders and stuff. We use them, I'd say, more for.
Great. And when it comes to like innovation, what does that look like for you? Is that something you're thinking about constantly, changing your menu, changing your tech, things like that? Is changing the menu a huge deal?
No, it's like, look, that's being part of a franchise. Like, you know, even if I turn around and I see a burger meal, I can't just start selling Zambrero. We have to follow suit. So we've head offices in Australia. Tara and Richard in the new product development team. Tara's Irish girl, used to actually work for Dawn Farm. We have a number of Irish recruits now in head office, sort of are keeping tabs on everyone for us. But so they're basically planning ahead. So we sort of follow suit of Australia, bigger brother, just let them do things. They launch some limited time dishes. Some are successful, some are not. And it's like, you know, like, sometimes we've limited time dishes coming out. I'm like, this is going to be a staple on our menu. This is going to fly. People are going to love this, and nothing happens. And then other times, like, I don't know if this is going to go well. And then it flies. Like, so until you launch it, you don't know. So the good thing for us is we stay like nearly a year, if not a season, behind Australia as well. So a couple of years ago, a good example was the Summer Bowl. They ran the Summer Bowl through their summer season as an LTO. But as it is, you trial it in 5 restaurants, you roll it out to 250 restaurants. There's feedback, there's tweaks. Guys like, why don't we change this operation? You could do it this way. The good thing for us in Ireland was, by the time they got to the end of the 8-week LTO, they had a changed operational plan from the start, and then we had that ready to go in Ireland.
Amazing.
So, and then, like I say, some LTOs run Australia, we just say move on to the next, leave it, and then some, we'll follow suit and go. So we're obviously directed a lot from head office. We would have certain input. We definitely have input when the dishes, our ideas are coming. Like, we're relaunching our breakfast menu. That would have been solely driven through just our operations team here in Ireland.
Okay, yeah, because obviously depending on the culture, what you think might work in one location might not work somewhere else, right?
Yeah, like particularly we've a spicy range LTO coming down the next couple of months, and we've just developed a new hotter sauce. So the sort of remit for that was, okay, we want a lift again, but we also don't want a sauce that someone's like, I can't taste anything. This is just burning my face. Now, there is people that want that.
That's me.
There is people that want that.
I'm a spice junkie.
So, but the reason I'm saying that is that the spice range, I think, is going to be much more popular in Ireland than Australia, which when we launched here, I don't know why at the time we were thinking, like, garlic sauce is going to be our most popular sauce. I don't know why we just assumed Irish people might just like, non-spice sauces. Our spicy sauces are our most popular. So I think the spice range is going to go really well. Where in Australia, the milder options are actually more popular.
Would never have thought that.
And it's so I think the spice range we got again. That was directed by Australia. They give us we got our sauce manufacturers here to match our sauce similar. Went through a few trials, signed one off there last week, and then we actually sell Blanco Nino tortilla chips. Irish company, really, really good product. We moved to them. We're probably maybe 3-4 years with them now, and the reality was, when we did that project of looking at a new tortilla chip, it wasn't price driven, because Blanco Nino is a premium product. It's expensive, and but I knew by investing in a better product we would get better returns, and we have. Like, we've seen a massive lift in our tortilla chip sales, nacho sales. So they're going to do a spicy chip for us for a range as well. So it's going to be a cross of their chipotle chip and then a spice sauce to be a set made nachos. And then if people just want to add or change it up or mix it, I like.
And that'll be specifically in Zambrero. That won't be in their retail or anything like that. That'll be just
that'll be just Zambrero. No, the chip we're using is their chipotle chips. We tasted their whole range of chips, and the sign off from our head office meeting last time was everyone wanted the chipotle chip. Yeah, so it's not super spicy, but when you layer it up with the spicy sauce, if you go for maybe our chipotle chicken or pork, jalapenos, if you like spice, yeah, there's spice in there.
Got really into the Hot Ones podcast. I don't know if you ever watched that with your man Sean Evans. So he brings on like celebrities and he makes them eat 10 progressively hotter chicken wings, and so they take a bite and then he asks them a question, like a normal interview question. But obviously as you get towards they're like the last one's over 1 million on the Scoville scale, so like they're sweating and they're like, you know, having a panic attack while trying to answer, you know, who did you like working on this movie with or whatever, you know, they're trying to, and I just love that. So I got into kind of hot sauce through that, and I've kind of noticed in Ireland, like if you go back to my parents' generation, like my mom thinks pepper is too spicy for her, but like my friends and like my younger sister and stuff, like they just sauce and spice is so much more part of the culture now, which is nice to see.
Like I said earlier, Uncle Ben's I think was this like revolutionary dish that we're like you nearly heat the house with, and now we've literally kids coming in ordering verde sauce, like little 5-6-year-olds, and you're like sort of checking with the parents, they're like, oh, there, just let him order whatever, he's fine.
It's great.
So it is cool. Like Ireland does have like an amazing, you know, mix of cuisine available now and stuff. Even our supermarket shelves are so much different now to what they are, and even for dietary requirements, different things like that, it is easier for people now. But definitely there's a spicy culture out there. So yeah, excited for the spicy range. We have a minced beef product coming around October time, which is in its second LTO in Australia now. So normally how they run it is if they run one day LTO and it's been popular, they'll run it again. And then it's a decision, does this become a full-time dish or not? So
I got tricked by that chili con carne or not.
Well, if you read it says chilies in carne.
My Spanish is not great, so in fairness. But I was ordering that for a couple of months before I realised that there was no meat.
It's actually
unbelievable,
isn't it? Such a good, like the amount of people that were like, oh, I just thought like it was a turkey mince or something. It's a plant based. So Dawn Farm did that for us. Dawn Farm do all our meats, and an amazing partner. And I remember when we brought that out and trying it first, I was like, you could blindfold me here and I wouldn't know. It's a really, really good product. It's actually it's the one thing we have over Australia. Whenever the head office people come over, because they don't have it in Australia.
Oh, do they?
Chilies and carne, no. They are looking for a vegan option. Currently they've tried a few different things, but they don't have it, and it's every single person that comes from head office, it's like chilies in. That's the one we need to open up our vegan and veg option. Yeah,
and is that something you guys think about, making sure that the food is as available to as many different people with dietary requirements as possible, or was it just a case this tastes really good?
The reason behind the chilies and carne when that came in was lamb. We had lamb on the menu. And I loved it. Lamb was like my Friday evening treat, like from Zambrero. So I'd always get chicken every day, but Friday evening used to be lamb. I used to love the lamb. And we had some hardcore lamb fans, but then people wouldn't mix it up. Other people would just have chicken beef. They never try, and then it was just the people who loved lamb. But then lamb was just getting more and more and more expensive, and you're just like. And then what we were seeing more and more was flexitarians coming in. So it was always the hardcore chicken every day. But then the other day is like, do you do a vegetarian option or do you do something else like a vegan option? And I was noticing more a trend of that in the restaurants. Like, you know, everyone went through that phase for a while where people were like, I'm going to eat vegan one day a week or veg one day a week. So that was becoming a bigger thing. The vegan veg market was definitely growing more and more for us, and we felt we needed a stronger option. So we swapped out the lamb for the chilies and carne, and yeah, that's been a big success for us. In fairness to Dawn, they made that for us, and from day one it's been a really good seller. And it's actually, like you say, it's a seller not just for people who are just going, I want the vegan option. People are now buying it if they've tried it. Sometimes it's hard to get people to try it because, you know, maybe
such a bad reputation
people are like, it's vegan, I'm not trying that. But I know if you try our chilies and carne, you'd love it.
This takes me on to my next question. What is your Zambrero order? Like take us through what you're getting.
So just had it in Beacon there. So it's regular burrito, beans, black rice, chicken, guacamole, lettuce, tomato, corn, jalapenos, verde, crunch lime.
Oh, the crunch, gotta have that in there.
That's like every day I'm in a restaurant I'll have food, and I still love it. Like that's people ask me all the time, like I still love Zambrero. It's the most ordered takeaway in our house by miles. So I could be in work on a Friday in one of the restaurants, could have had it for lunch, come home, and that's what Laura and Estelle want for dinner, and I've no issue with ordering it. So it's
what I love is it's so filling. Like I can eat that at lunchtime and I will not be, I don't have to eat again then. I love that I get the extra big burrito though. Like
do you go for the big one?
The big one. It's a double rice, double chicken.
That will fill you. No, I think the thing, and actually only the last sort of 7-8 weeks, look, I've always sold Zambrero. It's fresh, it's healthy, it's low calorie, but my eyes only get open, so I've never calorie counted, food counted ever in my life. And I had a busy couple of months, and a friend of mine who's a gym in Dubai was putting up this challenge, and it was a 6-week thing. I was like, I'll sign up to that, just do something different for my training for a few weeks. So we did online sessions. We'd send you out your sessions for the week, and then it was a diet plan where you had to fill in your food. And I was, for the first 4 to 6 weeks, I was like, literally every night I went in was weighed, put in the app, was weighed out for me. And the thing that really brought home to me, like, I'd never, he had me eating 220 grams of protein a day, and like I felt like I was just eating all day long. Like, I thought I was going to be starving on this thing, but I was just eating all day long. But actually trying to integrate Zambrero into it and keeping it below the calories I was set was actually really surprising. Like you're learning different things, like, you know, you have a healthy dinner at home, you think, but certain things, like, say, if you make salmon, it's got really high calories, like stuff like that you don't know. When I went and actually did all the Zambrero macros, I was shocked that, like, I was like, oh, so I haven't been lying to people for all these years. It actually is really low. And even when I was comparing the house, so it was great for me when I was doing that challenge over the last few weeks. I was still able to eat my Zambrero whenever I wanted and just plug it in, and it is like I know it is good clean food. We, like I said earlier, we don't have grease in our kitchen. We don't have heavy fats being added to, like, half our salad bar is just fresh chopped up salad and veg. Like that's what it is. So I thought that was quite cool over the last few weeks, that like I said, I haven't been just conning people for years. Like, it is actually a really low calorie option, and really good for you as well, and healthy. And like, I'll feed it to my kids, and I've no issues with them eating it.
Yeah, if you're giving it to your kids, you know that you're going to stand over it.
No, again, bully. Like, my 4-year-old actually, like, bullied me into feeding her whole crèche one day. She's like, can you just bring in Zambrero one day to my friends and my teachers? And I was like, what? It's like, oh, I told Holly you'd do that one day, and then Rachel, the old teacher, and so I did. Yeah, she was like, she thought she was a queen gun. She actually has a little Zambrero jumper, so we've been opposite uniform. And when Jess got them, she got one made for herself. And she wears it to school like every day. It's a little zip-up fleece with the big Zambrero logo, a little walking advertisement for me. So
love that. It's like a nice throwback to you bringing the school uniforms around to people.
She actually said that to someone recently. They're like, asked her, do you want to be a princess when you grow up? And she's like, no, I want to make burritos like my daddy. I was literally like nearly floods of tears in the background. But I'm very happy for them to eat it. It is good food, and it's great. Like, they love being in and out the restaurant with the staff and stuff, and then eating the food. Yeah, I've no issues with it.
That's great. Okay, so here's one I ask everyone: death row meal. What are you having?
Death row meal. Is it from a restaurant or probably a roast? Like, I like
just a meal type.
Roast. Yeah. Like maybe a lamb roast, all the trimmings, or even like I'm not gonna say Christmas dinner, like, because Christmas dinner has mixed reviews, but like definitely a lamb roast, all the trimmings, Yorkshire pudding, gravy, stuffing, everything in there. Yeah,
that sounds amazing. Favorite restaurant in Dublin?
Favorite restaurant, I was actually meant to go last night and pulled out. I'm a bit nasally at the moment. So Gigi's, a few of my friends went there last night to Rudy Casari runs that place there, and it's always good fun. That's why I didn't go, because I knew it'd be too much fun last night, and probably would have felt worse this morning for it. But it's a lot of food there is class, but it's just the atmosphere they create. And Rudy's always, for anyone who's been there, even if they don't know Rudy by name, they'll know if you mention who he is. Yeah. So I'd say we enjoy going there.
And is that an important thing for you if you're picking a restaurant, like that there's someone like that?
Yeah, the atmosphere. Yeah. I'm a big atmosphere person. Like I said earlier, the quality of food in Dublin, there's some amazing restaurants in Dublin, but I would definitely be driven on service. So if I'm ever night, I want to have a bit of fun, or if you're with friends as well, or if it's just me and Laura, you want to enjoy the setting and the service. Like, there's nothing worse. Like, I always say to someone, like, you can make the nicest Zambrero burrito for someone in the world. I tell her staff all the time. But if you're rude to them, or you do something they think is short, they're going to leave thinking they hate this, and they're not even going to give it a chance. So, like, for me, if I'm in a restaurant, I love, a bit of interaction with staff. My wife hates, because I always ask, like, I nearly put my decision on staff. I know, what's your favourite thing in the menu? What's the best thing in the menu?
The worst thing is ignoring that, though, and then going with something else, like, after they've given you their recommendation.
No, I don't actually want that on this. No, I always pick like one or two choices. So I was like, I'm thinking of this. What's better? So so that would, I'd say, Gigi's and Ralna 100%. Yeah.
Great. Okay. And what's the plan for the next 5 years for you guys in Zambrero? Where's it going? What's the hope anyway?
What's the hope? So we're in the future, because you said this is going to come out in July, isn't it? So from the middle of July, when this podcast got out, we've a run of another 5 to 7 restaurants we've another 2. We've 5 agreed and another 2 pretty close now. So we'll go on a really busy run from middle end of July through to October. 5 to 7 restaurants opening. Hoping to get to 40, very early next year. There's a lot of other conversations in the background happening. But it's going to slow down. Look, it's been a really aggressive last, 2-3 years. It can't keep going at that pace. Like I mentioned to you earlier before we were chatting outside, like we've applications coming for people in small towns that, 15, 1,600 people. You're trying to be like, yeah, I understand the location's right, but if everybody in the town eats it once a week, which isn't going to happen, there's not a business there. Or then if people send us applications to open a restaurant like 300 yards from a current restaurant, you're like, that can't happen. So we're just naturally running out of space and places. There is still a lot of room for growth. We haven't gone up north yet. We've just agreed our first site, which will announce pretty soon up north. And we're making a bit of a push to sort of chatting to different people in groups up there about potentially getting up there. We're getting then into Killarney for the first time. We have another store in Waterford, going to a new location in Waterford, another store in Cork. We're opening another one in Cork now next 6 months. That's in talks at the moment. So there's still room out there. Like the original business plan was for 60 across the island of Ireland in 15 years, which...
What are you on now?
We're on 30 now, yeah.
Okay.
When I go back to the start and you're writing a business plan with 60 restaurants, and I could have wrote 10,000 restaurants. It didn't really mean anything. You're sort of just writing down, you're following, the way they've done the scope from Australia and the way they do mapping over there. But now I'm at 30, you're like, defo early 50s is definitely very hopeful at the moment, because I just see the stream of interest. And the good thing for me, a lot of these new restaurants now are existing franchisees, so that makes the rollout much easier. The guys have knowledge, they're understanding, even with the training, it's not like you're holding their hand through the opening. For the openings now, for the existing franchisees, sometimes they want you to be, we're very hands-on during openings. They actually want you to step back, because they're like, look, we know how to do this. We've got 1 or 2 Zambreros already. Let us do it our way. So that's the plan for us with Zambrero in Ireland. Is just keep growing it. And like, there's a lot of boring back of house stuff happening. Like we did a dry spice tender there. We're in the middle of a cheese tender. Different things, making tweaks to the menu. And again, like, when we go through our pantry list, our supplier operation, I'm not 100% just going, okay, we just need to make this cheaper. It's actually a quality thing. Like we're going to change cheese, so the type of cheese, maybe not the supplier, but the type of cheese. We currently have menus, and it's more. All the options are more expensive because we want a better cheese. It's not like we're like, oh, we just want the cheapest thing you have. I'm constantly trying to make our product better. It was like the Blanco Nino example, when when the idea came up to move to Blanco Nino. So my mother-in-law claims it was her idea, but it wasn't. She's a tip woman, so see, Blanco Nino's made in Clonmel and tips, so she really feels she pushed it. But no, she was an advocate. She was definitely a supporter of it. But when the idea came to move, and we trialed a load of different suppliers, and our current suppliers, then we tried Blanco, there was like, I was like, there is no comparison there. Like, these are a premium product. It's really good. I think it was maybe 30 or 40% more expensive for our franchisees at the time. So what I actually did at the start was I just sent everyone a load of samples. Didn't send price, I was like, just try these, tell me what you think. And I think all bar one came back saying, yeah, 100%, they love this one over our old one. And then the next message was, we're thinking of moving, here's the price. And look, that was a tough one, but that was a decision I had to make. Some people at the time weren't happy. They thought this is just going to drive our costs. Because we weren't upping the price of our menu, we were just taking that hit, hoping that we'd grow sales, and it's worked, and everyone's delighted with it now. And like, the partnership with Blanco Nino is brilliant. They're good to work with. They're
the best in the business as well. They're my favorite. I used to go, I don't know if you remember, years ago there was a place called a Little Ass Burrito.
Oh yeah. That's Phil. That's founder,
I was pretty much exclusively going there because I thought that the tortillas were the best.
Yeah. So yeah, like, he's behind that. So yeah, it is like, we have a good relationship with them, and they're great to work with, great marketing team. Always really keen to get involved, particularly with us in the franchise. Like, even we have a conference every year in January. Like, they get really involved in it for a meal pack night. They'll come, give out free product, and it's a nice one to have. And we try pushing the menu, and that we are selling Blanco because they're becoming a brand now, really growing rapidly as well.
It must be kind of a testament to your own success that you're now in a position where you're starting to turn away people who are coming to you to say, oh, I want to set up I want to franchise,
Yeah, like, it is. Like, look, it is. It's there was a lot of hard work. Not that hard work has stopped, but it is nice now, you know, you're early doors, and like, you know, you went back to me in year 1 in Hat Street. So the way we mapped it out, we had to run Hat Street for a year before we were allowed to open our second. Then we had to have 3 company restaurants before we were allowed franchise. Right. But if you had asked me back when we just had Hat Street, or maybe just opened Danish Cross, you know, are you going to get 60 restaurants? I literally remember once saying, man, if we had 10 Zambreros now, even though in the business plan I had 60, but in my head I was like, man, if I had 10 Zambreros, I would be the man around town, like driving a Ferrari, you'd be like killing it. And like, no, that's not how it works. So, yeah, it is. Look, and there's been 1 or 2 applications turned down because there's just been a personality clash. Like, I've just met different people, and you know, they grind your heart at that stage. What are they going to be like if you're working alongside them or with them? And that's 1 or 2 decisions have definitely been made in that, where you just like, you know, this person mightn't fit into the culture here. And like, we call ourselves a Zam fam. We are one big family. We have our conference every year. Like, again, we had a conference in January. We had a load of guys come over. It's the big ticket in head office, so everyone's like knocking on Matt's door. Matt's the CEO, so like, Matt's like, Darragh told me I can come to the Ireland conference. And I keep getting these stop invite me, but they're not allowed to come. So now he's using that as a bit of a carrot that dangles for people. If they do well and stuff, they can come to the Irish conference, because when they're at the Australian one, they didn't work. When they're here, they're just having a party for a few days. But at our conference last couple of years, they've been really happy events because everyone's trading well, which is great. But I think the other thing is they know the support the team, my team, are giving them every day, and like, and that's why I say, like, every decision we make is for the brand, for the franchisees. I was reading the guy from Esquire Coffee a few weeks ago, and he used a really good analogy that if you're head of a master franchise, you're basically managing a fund for a bunch of shareholders. There's no point us in the head office making a fortune and our restaurants are struggling to get by and then to close. I need to make them as profitable as possible, because if you as a Zambrero restaurant and you're a franchisee and you're making money, what are you probably going to do a second one? And that's happening. We have a number of multiple franchisees. So that's why every decision we make, I gotta keep every hat on. Like, you know, even any of my suppliers, like even the Blanco and Ina guys, anyone, like, sometimes myself and Niall will be like arguing over, like, and when you look at it now, like, I remember one time particularly slagged me, is like, you know, you were arguing for a week there and you probably saved the restaurant £5 in a month. And I'm like, yeah, well, we got the win in the end. We got the extra, like, you
got the £5.
We got the extra 20 cents off. But like, it's just trying to, I need the restaurants to be successful, and they have to be profitable, or there's no business. Like, you can have the best head office team in the world, the best office, New Everton, the best business. But if we don't have franchise, you know, growing, expanding, paying royalties, there is no business. So we all have to work in one, and that's why our conferences have been good fun the last few years. Particularly good fun this year. We had Bingo Loco down.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No,
it's a messy one.
That's a story for a different podcast.
Yeah.
But no, that and it's been nice, and there is a good relationship across the restaurants, and I want to keep that. And then a nice thing that's happened from these conferences over the last years, franchisees talking in the background. Do you know what I mean? And helping each other, and, you know, sharing staff, or, you know, say Cameron says something, you can get on to Paul and Paul can drop it over, or vice versa, and back. And that's what you want, everyone working together, because I always say we're all on the one team. It's not in anyone's interest for one somewhere to go bad and the other to go well. We all want them all to go well.
Because that's not how people see it, is it? Like, your average punter doesn't think, oh, this Zambrero is going to be different because they're franchisee. If you have a bad Zambrero, you just think Zambrero is bad, right? It's like you're all representing each other, right? Oh,
100%. Yeah. No, that's our key. Like, I always say to staff at during our training, when we get the team members in, we get them off site or behind closed doors before opening. I always say to them, you guys are a business. You can have the nice, you know, some of these franchisees would spend up to 400 grand plus on a beautiful restaurant, all the best bells and whistles, everything amazing. But if you guys are rude to customers, we have no business. You are our business. Our staff in our restaurants are our business every day driving on, because you're making people stay. And I always say to them, you are going to meet the rudest people in the world working in this restaurant. Like, hospitality, that's just how it is. But I always say, the great thing with Zambrero is on a sit-down restaurant, they are literally gone in 2 minutes flat. They could have lost their job before walking in. They could have got divorced before walking in the front door. Anything could have happened, and that's why they're taking out you. Smile, nod. Obviously, if you're being overly rude, you know, managers and stuff will step in. But some people are just rude and short and ignorant sometimes. You just smile, nod, kill them with kindness. I love that. Yeah. I love that when I was working on the front lines. You just get people and it's like, oh, sorry, would you like some more? Maybe I'll just top up. Are you sure now there's enough? Are you sure? Positive, like, push them back. But so our staff are our business, and we try to drive a good culture. We do two little things in the background, like, you know, employed a quarter for each restaurant, try reward them. We send out little rewards every now and then for different things, and it's just trying to create an environment that if they're happy coming, and happy restaurants lead on to happy customers normally.
It's great that you're acknowledging that as well, that they know that they're being seen, and that's important, right?
Yeah, like I say, like it's changed a lot for me because I would say now I'm becoming more corporate because I'm less in the restaurants. So I used to love being in Hatchery, you know, I had the office there, and even as we grew on a bit and we'd restaurants, I'd always base myself there and then like jump in the lunch rush and work for 2 hours because you're still in that buzz, you love it, like it is really good fun when you're in that like 2 hour, 3 hour mental run. It's just queue at the door and you're just flat out going and it flies by. It's good fun, and that's the part I still love it, but that's just becoming harder and harder. And the bit I liked earlier on when we were smaller was I could have went to any of the restaurants and I knew most of the staff. And I went, there's Mary, there's Jim, I know he's in college in this, she does this, and you just have conversations, and that's just harder and harder when I go into restaurants now. Like people don't have a clue here when they walk in. You just go in, get served, and walk out.
Like
where it was nice.
Shopper.
Yeah, it was nice back in the day. You could come in like, oh, hey, what's the crack? And how's things? And how's football? How's karate? How's this? Whatever. How's college going? How's the band? Because we've had staff come and do all sorts of different things. Like, you know, one of you Mary's lads used to work for us. I saw the other day as a partner down Deloitte. We've had people sign, their bands get signed by record labels and stuff. So you all... like it's cool watching them grow up, you know what I mean, and see them like they just come in. And as I always say, I understand for a lot of our staff coming in, this isn't the be all end all for you. Some of you are trying to be doctors, architects, but I'm just like, when you're in the restaurants, you know, give it your all, have fun, enjoy, pitch in, we'll all work together, and then we'll move on.
It's also one of those life skills I think that everyone should do. I think you should work in either hospitality or retail at some stage in your life. I did it, and I think there's skills that I learned there that I still use in my job now, and I think it gives you a good grounding as well, right? If you like to go and do something like
face to face with customers and dealing with people, having conversations with people. When you get, you know, on in life, whatever you end up doing, like if you're out to have a chat with a stranger in a conversation, like that's the thing that makes people's day. Like, you know, the simplest one is, oh, the usual, or the same again, or did you enjoy the one? Like, people just love being recognized or something small like that.
Absolutely.
So we just try, you know, to create a happy environment for staff. That stems down like picking good franchisees, and then pick good managers, and then it just knocks on through, and you can see that, like, you know, we do have a great network of franchisees that are driving the business on.
Amazing. I'm going to ask you this because you're in that corporate world now. AI, are you in? Are you out? What are you using it at all? Do you feel like it's a benefit?
I use it a lot because I'm a horrible speller and grammar and everything. My English teacher told me he was shocked when I passed honours English. I found out a few years ago I was dyslexic, so like for me, AI and helping me with spelling and tools, that side of stuff, I'd say for a lot of my friends or family or even colleagues are like, yeah, his emails are actually make sense now. Where 5 years ago I'd say they're just getting like, you know, 10-line sentence in one. So AI in the restaurant, no, I know there's some cool things out there. The guys in Junction 14 were saying that there's technology now that's can read customers, say, coming into a shop. And this is more in the retail world, but it can read customers when it comes into a shop, and then it will profile you and say, okay, male, mid-30s, and then the advertising on the screens in the shop will then start flicking to products you might be interested in buying. And you hear something like that, you're like, that is crazy. Like how it's the world we're in. It's taken over. I listened to a podcast the other day on talking about jobs that are just going to be made redundant, which is just fact. You know, there's just more and more things, tasks are becoming simpler. He was the example the guy used on it was an anaesthetist I think in the US is the highest paid on paper job, or highest paid on average job, and he was saying a lot of their job is monitoring operations. So is there going to be a world where AI could be monitoring 10 operations at once, and then one person overseeing if there's, and you're like, yeah, that could make sense down the line. Like, and so he's like, and then you've all these really highly skilled, high paid, and then suddenly they're out of work tomorrow. You don't know. So do
you want a bot monitoring your operation?
I don't know, but I don't know if I want it. I'm just saying it's happening, and it is scary now, the stuff it's doing. It's cool. In our world, no, it's like, yeah, AI helping with some of the accountancy software and stuff, the background use, little things like that is cool, because it's probably going to lead to no mistakes and our help, you know, solve problems quicker. Little simple things, like I've used it for solving problems when I can't get formulas in Excel working. Yeah. You know, you're there for ages and you're like, why don't I just ask? And you're like, oh, there you go, fixed 1 minute. Yeah. Simple things like that. But for us as a business, we're not actively seeking, I don't know, world and for us will work, like the retail stuff for the advertising, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm not against it. I just don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's something that I think we're quite invested in here for how we work, and then also we're looking at how we'd implement that with our customers.
Yeah, I can see, like, for the tech and the background world, like, in, you know, for coders and stuff like that, like, that's just going to speed up their work. A pal of mine was saying to me recently, he's like, I'm coding now when I couldn't properly code. He says he's doing some sort of type of coding, and he's like, a lot of it's just been done through an AI tool, and it's just, you know, churning things out quicker for me. So for tech and stuff, it would be amazing. For us in the food, look, have all the AI you want. I know your man who, the founder of Chipotle, he went out into the vegan restaurant that was run by robots. I don't think that's really gone anywhere now. Like, for us in the restaurant, like I say, we just got to focus on having a really premium product. Like, that's it. Like, there's inflation all around us. Things get more and more expensive. Zambrero is getting more and more expensive. Everything is. Like, that's just fact. I'd love to sell burritos for €2, but then there is no business. But I think if we're selling a quality product, people won't come out about price. I feel a lot of complaints, you know, when you get complaints through, and we get some of the wildest complaints come through. Like, and I always remember one of my favourite ones at the start was someone complaining about the guacamole was cold. And I was sort of standing there, I was like, sorry, excuse me? So, you know, your guacamole is cold? And I was like, yeah. And I didn't want to be, like, really cheeky and rude. And I was like, but then I was like, wait, is it frozen? And I took it out and I was like, this is just normal guacamole out of the fridge. So you get all sorts of complaints. But particularly when it comes to price, I feel a price complaint always gets back to, yeah, but the product was falling apart when I got it, or was missing this, or was missing that. Yeah. Where if it's made like it should look in the picture, you know, you bought what's there. If that matches, you know, flavour, taste, it's up to you. Like, you either got to enjoy it or not enjoy it. But I feel that thing. So for us, the focus is just got to be keeping the product as premium as possible. Like I say, we've lots of boring back house, like recipe and menu stuff happening, and all that isn't actually cost driven. Even at the moment, what cost, it's actually a quality driven project which we're working on, particularly the cheese one we're working at the moment, like I said. And then have all the AI you want, but we just need friendly staff in restaurants. Like, we're not going to start having robots. Like, it just won't happen. Definitely, like the touch screen or the touch order points and stuff like you guys provide, like, that's a tool you will have, but you still need, I still think you need that face-to-face customer interaction in the restaurants. And you know, like I say, I know from the restaurants with the really customer service driven managers that's not gone through the staff are the ones that are hitting potential. Like, they're the ones that I know they're doing their best. Where I'm like, others, you know, I think if you picked up your customer service, you're not going to double your sales, but you might lift by 5, 6, 7%, which is a lot in some instances. Delivery is a massive part of our business now. Like, I was over in Dubai a few months ago, and like, the delivery market over there is insane. Like, it's off the charts. But I noticed the detail. Like, we didn't order one product because I was like being a bit of a nerd over the week, ordering all the different like Mexican options and a few of the ones I'd heard about or read about, and like, I had so much takeaway that week. And but the amazing thing was, I didn't order one product that week that didn't look like a photograph of the menu. Yeah, like, the quality was insane. And not even that, in the packaging, the detail in the packaging, like, just little like I got some ideas for some of the stuff we're doing here at the moment, and definitely robbed a few of the ideas. And like I said, back to when we changed our packaging a few years ago, we used to have white bowls because they're compostable, and we thought people appreciate that. But then when we did a bit of chat around, people were like, well, I didn't know it was combustible. So we added like a colourful sleeve to it with some photos of the menu, just brighten up. So suddenly the bag opens, it's colourful. It's not just a lot of white boxes. And some people appreciate that it's combustible. Other people don't really care or know. Yeah. So it's just trying to add a bit of colour and flavour. Like, thought some of the packaging over there was really cool. Like, just the detail that went into it, because for a lot of people, a lot of businesses in Dubai, their business is 100% delivery. They're solely virtual kitchens. So it was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, for us, we need that mix. But it's this cornerstone of it has to be, you know, nicely kitted out restaurants, happy staff, but obviously a quality product then.
Did you try the Dubai chocolate?
I did, yeah.
Review?
It's,
yay or nay?
Like, grand. I brought some back to myself. Spent like, I really loved them all because I spent like €20 bar of chocolate to bring it back to them. Now, I couldn't bring back the real one because it's cream, so you have to keep it refrigerated. But I bought them back. I asked, well, what's the best one? This and one's like $20 a bar. I was like,
Willy Wonka stuff.
Yeah, I was like, no. I love the guys, so it's okay. But they get mixed reviews from it. Like, it's like we actually did Yeah, so when we did our offside down, I'll try. Some of them liked some. It's just personal preference. I don't think it's as mad as it was. Like I heard the stories of they turn on their tablet and in 20 minutes they turn it off every day, and you can only.
I ordered it there on Deliveroo, so I was there in January, and it was that situation where I was queuing from before they opened, and then had to put through the order immediately, and then pray that it get accepted, because you only have a very small window before it sells out.
In Deliveroo said there's some other crazy thing. It's like caviar and chicken nuggets or something is delayed. There's some mental.
That sounds very
like
Dubai.
Yeah. So. The Dubai chocolate, this is what it is, but it was number one dish in the world. It's just, obviously social media can really drive things now like that.
Yeah, it really does. And I don't know if you saw that strawberry as well that was being sold. It was I think it was a €20 or £20 strawberry. I can't remember the company doing it, but it was meant to be the world's nicest strawberry.
Just that strawberry?
Just one singular strawberry for 20 quid. And everyone was kind of talking about, even if it is the nicest strawberry in the world, is it worth? And that kind of comes back to what we were talking about pricing. There probably is, like you say, people don't really care if the product is good, but there is a level to that. You're not going to charge €50 for a burrito and expect people to be like. I
did think recently when I was in Wexford, I was getting a punnet, in the place to the side road, and I was like, geez, strawberries are expensive now, but they were really nice. But €20 for one, I don't know if I'd be spending that. But yeah, it's just look, it's like I said, that online market's changed. Dubai is like a leader in that stuff. Just the quality, like it was more so for me. The thing I took away from was, if your business is 100% virtual online, your only impact is this customer. It's a bag getting handed to the front door. It's from the packaging, from the cool like graffiti designs in the bag, saw little notes inside it, even all like the way the cutlery was in branded stuff and funny little puns on it and stuff like that. Like it's all the little extras to try win you back, because that's it. Where for us, you still have a physical restaurant that someone can go to and have that interaction and enjoy it
if they want to. Gives everyone the option. So my final question for you then is, if somebody wants to reach out, get in touch, what's the best place to go to do that? As in a franchisee, maybe, if they wanted to, or a potential.
Well, obviously through our website you can fill out forms and they come straight to me. The franchise application one will come directly to me, or else on LinkedIn and stuff. Anyone want to chat? Like I've always been happy to have chats with people, particularly say a lot of ex-rugby players and stuff, or current rugby players. Like the amount of rugby lads around me, like, I'm opening a coffee shop, and I'm like, just hang on for 2 minutes. Like, it's not as easy as you think. I'd say I spoke to maybe 15 current former rugby players that were talking about doing coffee shops. Everyone has the coffee shop dream. I'm always happy to chat to people, and because at the start, like through my dad's work network and through mine, through my school network, like people were very good to me, and through the Leinster network at the time, like it's a great thing for me when it was happening, and like even when I announced I was leaving, and different people reached out with emails and stuff and getting me for chats or meeting for a coffee or giving advice. I always really appreciate that. So I've always been happy to.
So you're paying that.
If I can have a chat to someone on 20 minutes, and you never know what you can learn when you just chat to someone. Like, and even I had a catch up with Tom Gleeson from Bunsen the other day. Just rang for a chat. I'd never met him before. We spoke for maybe half an hour, 40 minutes on the phone. He rang me about something, and we just had a chat. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's nice to chat to people in the industry. And I've made through different events. Like I've started in the last couple of years going to events more, because
the networking.
The networking. I probably didn't do enough of that at the start, and I should have. Looking back, that's something I should have more of. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone wants to reach out on LinkedIn,
Any events that you would say were really useful that people should go to? In business.
Any events? Well, it's more been different. Like, say people invite you to functions or award dinners, or Just Eat do a lot. Brought me over to brought us over to Champions League final in Turkey. So, and I met a load of different people at that. So there was different things like that. I'm going to an event next week up north on franchising. So they're making a big push on franchising in Northern Ireland for business. So I'm up to meet and chat to them at that next week. So those opportunities, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, I was like, I can't take a day off work to go up to Belfast that is my work. Like, that's sort of what I realise now. Is there
much value in that? Is there?
Yeah, exactly. So if people want to chat on LinkedIn or reach out, I'm happy to have phone call, coffee, chat with someone. If I can help someone, I will. You know what I mean? Or sometimes they could be helping me by just giving me information. You wouldn't know. So happy to chat.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck with the 60 store expansion.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.